the root in this particular instance states that, I'm going to go down here. So root in this particular instance states that the bin directory, I know this because of the D right here, the bin directory belongs to the root user. The root group has access to it. The root user has read, write, and execute permissions. The root group has read and execute permissions, but no write permissions. And everybody else has read and execute permissions, but no write permissions. In Linux, you're able to change permissions associated with a file or directory by using the chmod command. Change mod is also known as chmod, if you will. Should really say AKA. Okay? And you're able to change ownership of directories and files by using the command chown. It's pronounced C-H-O-W-N. It's pronounced as chown. Change ownership. All right. So let me show you something. Right here in Linux, I can create a directory off of the root by using the mkdir command. And I'm going to create a directory called scripts. I can type in a command called whoami and check to see who I'm logged in as. I created a directory called scripts off of the root directory. I can type pwd to list my present working directory or print working directory. I can then do cd scripts to get into the scripts directory, like so. pwd will print my directory structure. And if I do lslah, you'll notice that I don't have any files in there. It says that I have a total of 8K of stuff taken up by this directory, and it's 4K and 4K for the current directory and parent directory placeholders, if you will. I can create a file in here. Nano is one of the utilities that I can use to create a file. Nano is an editor. It's a file editor like Notepad. And I'm going to create a file, and I'm going to call this thing file1.txt. Here's Nano. This is a text file created in Linux from within the Xen server environment, and using a tool, using a editor called Nano. Let's save this file. If you look on the bottom, I can do a Control-X to exit, Control-X to exit, and then I can say yes to save the file, and I can press Enter to save this file right here. There it is. And if I do lslah, there's my file right there. Now in Linux, you're also able to add users by using the user add command. I can type user add and specify a user that I want to place inside of this Linux environment. If I wasn't maintaining a domain, I'd be manipulating the Linux environment to add users. And let me do a user add, and I'm going to say XenX local user, XX local 1, there's user, and user add XX local 2. And I'm going to do password for XX local 1. I'm going to put in a password. It's going to complain that the password's based on a dictionary word, but it will take it anyway. And passwd is a way to change the password for a specific user. Okay. Also in Linux, there is a tool called less, which will allow you to view files on a per page basis. So here's a file called passwd, and the passwd file lists all of the users that exist in the system, in this Linux system. Root is the name of the user. This right here is the encrypted password for the user account. This is the user ID and the group ID associated with the root user. Okay. The name root, and their home directory and the shell that they're using. This asterisk means that there's no password assigned, and it actually is stored, no password assigned, that the password exists in a different file. And this is the user ID and the group ID of the bin user. Now, if I go down, you'll notice that here's my XS local 1 user, as you can see. Here's a secure password that is created for this. These exclamations mean that there are no passwords associated with those accounts and that you shouldn't be logging in as those users. Right? So nobody logs on as the NTP user or the RPC user or the SSHD user and so on. But I do have XS local 1 and XS local 2. I've got passwords for both of them that I created and saved. The user ID for XS local 1 is 500, group is 500, and for XS local 2 is 501 for user ID and group ID.